Nothing like the Muppet version of A Christmas Carol to put you folks in the Christmas spirit.
It's true wherever you find love, it feels like Christmas. It feels like Christmas. It feels like Christmas. It feels like Christmas.
Before we begin today's review, I wanted to give an extremely special shout out to my friend on YouTube, Rachel Wanger. She has also reviewed Muppets Christmas Carol, so please check out her review and her thoughts on the movie. Her review is awesome. Hello, Elfie. Have you seen the Muppet Christmas Carol? What do you think of it? You love it, don't you? Yes. She loves it. So, guys, The Muppet Christmas Carol, directed by Brian Henson, and is a adaptation of Charles Dickens' classic story that everybody knows and loves, A Christmas Carol, only with Jim Henson's The Muppets as our leading iconic characters. So, The Muppet Christmas Carol. I don't have to explain the story of A Christmas Carol to you guys, because everybody knows the traditional story of Charles Dickens as A Christmas Carol. It's A Christmas Carol just with the Muppets as the characters, and this is not only one of my favourite adaptations of the story of all time. It's not only neck and neck with the 2011 Muppets movie as my favourite Muppet movie, it's arguably one of my favourite Christmas movies ever made, period. The Muppet Christmas Carol is a freaking classic. Me and my family, it's a tradition to watch this movie every single Christmas for the rest of our lives until Christmas doesn't exist anymore. That's how good we think it is. I mean, the positives for this movie, there's just so much to love. Where do I even start? For one thing, Michael Caine is the greatest Scrooge that they could have ever gotten. I don't care what the nostalgia critic says. Michael Caine owns the role of Scrooge. He's not only a more lovable and relatable Scrooge than all the others who played the role far too seriously and stoic, but he captures the bitterness in the beginning perfectly, but he also adds some free dimension to the character. He makes us sympathise with Scrooge more than we ever have before. And Bob Cratchit is the most is so lovable in this movie, played by Kermit the Frog. Kermit made Bob more lovable and memorable than most of the other Bobs, and Miss Piggy as Emily Cratchit was a flawless choice. And finally, Kermit and Miss Piggy are married, finally, and how long have we Muppet fans have been waiting to see that. Thank you, Jim Henson's company. You have answered our prayers at last. And in the Cratchit family, it's hilarious how all of the male Cratchit kids are frogs and all of the female Cratchit kids are pigs. I'm surprised that they weren't hybrids of frogs and pigs. But they're such a wonderful family nonetheless. And Tiny Tim, this is arguably one of the most adorable Tiny Tims ever written. Yeah, you wouldn't want to see any harm come to this sweet little frog who deserves a better life and to be more fortunate than he is. And just the two Marley brothers, that was a fresh change to actually have two Jacob Marleys, whereas in all the other adaptations it's just one. And since they are still trying to replicate the Muppets from the show, they do a awesome job at that, and their banter back and forth and their arguments is just the best when they appear. And Fozzie Bear as Mr. Fozziewig is just a delight from start to finish. And Sam Eagle as Scrooge's headmaster, just wonderful when he's like, it is the American way. Oh, sorry, it is the British way. And we even get not just the traditional Christmas Carol characters, but they add in Charles Dickens also, like the great Gonzo as Charles Dickens is a ingenious way of telling the story to the next generation of kids who haven't even read the book of Christmas Carol yet. I mean, in such a fun way, we need another adaptation that actually shows Charles Dickens himself telling the story, and Rizzo the rat also accompanies Gonzo, and the situations that they get themselves into just had me laughing uncontrollably. This movie has so many fresh and original ideas. It's the most original adaptation of A Christmas Carol. It's not just the same story all over again. It is faithful. It even has lines of dialogue from the book, but it does all those lines justice, and it's while also giving its own take on the story. If it was just the original story all over again, it would be boring. But Jim Henson actually used their imagination, and the puppetry and a set design for Victorian London is absolutely terrific. It's so cozy and comforting, and it feels magical, and the movie isn't afraid to actually show you the darker content in the third act, where we meet the ghost of Christmas future. Yep, but it gets depressing, it gets gloomy and grim, and they actually kill off Tiny Tim. You wouldn't believe that a Muppet movie would actually kill off Tiny Tim, but they go there, and it really hits you there when they do. And this movie also has a special way of telling the story in that it's a musical. It includes songs, and that's what you come to see in a great Muppet movie, the wonderful and classic musical numbers. And I have every single song in this movie stuck in and embedded in my head. Mr. Humbug is a great example of introducing us to Scrooge. With a thankful heart, we'll cheer you up and put a smile on everyone's face once Scrooge finally embraces that he's a changed and happier man. And my two personal favourite songs in the movie, and my mum and my sister are on the same page, is Bless Us All. That is a song with a soul that helps us sympathise with the Cratchits more than the vast majority of the Christmas Carol adaptations. If you don't cry at that song, I have no idea what makes you cry. But my number one of all-time favourite song from the movie is It's True Wherever You Find Love, It Feels Like Christmas. But sung by the Jolly Ghost of Christmas Present. That is the most jolly and heartfelt Muppet song I've ever heard in my life, and it's such a perfect song to introduce Scrooge to the joys of Christmas, since Scrooge had never had any past experiences that were good at Christmas. He's finally he's letting out the good man that he's been bottling up inside. And they actually design original puppets for the Ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, and they all look simply splendid. And I mean, the Ghost of Christmas Past is like a doll that floats, which adds some creepiness to her, and the Ghost of Christmas Present is such a jolly old Santa Claus in his own right, and the Ghost of Christmas Future is, to put it this way, to be precise, terrifying as hell. Scariest Muppet ever. Yep, I am, unfortunately, I have hardly any negatives with this movie. Well, there is one nitpick I can think of. I do believe that the deleted song, The Love Has Gone, should have been included in the final cut of the movie. Jeffrey Katzenberg decided at the last minute to remove that song from the film, since he felt it would be too overly depressing for younger viewers. Jeffrey, you're awesome, dude. But cutting out Belle's musical number was a mistake, in my personal opinion. I love the character of Belle. She's Ebenezer's lost love, since he confirms to her he loves his money more than her. So she sings this beautiful song about how her love for him has just gone, and that would have made that moment far more powerful than her just walking away. I mean, Disney, you were okay with showing Mufasa's body in Lion King, so how are you not okay with showing kids that relationships don't always last? But that's such a small thing to complain about, because everything else in this movie is so damn great. Overall, guys, I absolutely love this movie. It's a near flawless, telling of Charles Dickens's classic story. Had Charles Dickens watched this movie, he would have applauded it. So trust me, there have been countless and plenty of adaptations of A Christmas Carol over the years, but not all of them have turned out perfect. Some have been better than others, and this movie stands tall above the terrible 1999 version, as well as the meh 2009 version with Jim Carrey. This and Mickey's Christmas Carol are my two favourite versions of the story. Disney actually have the best versions of A Christmas Carol, since it's an ideal story for Disney to adaptate. It's a must-watch at Christmas. Me and my family never miss it at Christmas. It's quintessential viewing for the whole family for the holidays. Guys, I am free to review this movie for its 25th anniversary, and it's so sad that this movie underperformed at the box office due to being released at the same time as Disney's Aladdin and Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. But at least it got a generally positive critical reception, and Jim Henson and company are proud of the movie.
I give the Muppet Christmas Carol 5 stars out of 5.
I'm sure all of you guys are in agreement that this is a totally satisfying Christmas classic. Well, I love you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what do you think of the Muppet Christmas Carol? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Google Plus and on Instagram. And I'll see you all next time. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.